I've never actually recorded myself while drawing, so this would be an interesting experiment to see if you like it. So let me know in the comments what do you think of this type of video. Maybe something like this could work. So I have in mind this painting I've actually done in the past of some trees in a landscape, but I really want to try it with some different colors and some different materials as well, because that was just a simple watercolor painting. And the color scheme was in this yellow and an olive green, but I think we can do something slightly different now. I'm just trying to put down the basic colors that I think would work here. I'm gonna use some water on it as well later. Okay, so I'm going to cover it up this very roughly now. And actually, now thinking about it, I might just leave it with these two colors. I think I need to wet the pink first, and then we'll get into the blues. I haven't used the Neocolors wet on this sketchbook before, so this is also a test to see how we would handle it. And I'm actually liking this so far. Feels kind of weird to talk to myself while doing this process as well. And I haven't realized that I keep getting quiet because I'm concentrating. So I have a lot of respect on the people who do this more regularly. One thing I really like about the Neocolors to work with is after you do a layer of wetting them, I really like to go on top with the pencils straight away while the paper is still wet. I think it gives it a very nice texture, and it brings the saturation in the pencils as well. I'm bringing this a bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about in regards with the textures. So one thing I didn't realize, the blue has been muddying up this beautiful salmon color, so I want to kind of cover that up. Now I feel like there is something slightly lacking with this, so I'm thinking of adding, I think that's a nice color, maybe some hills in the back, just to give it a bit more dimension. Now this is all pretty much completely off script, so I don't have a reference image or anything like that. And I don't even think I had a reference image in the original painting either. So I'm just kind of going along as I go, which is something I don't do very often at all. I'm very much into carefully picking my reference pictures and always following some sort of photograph. So I don't actually know why I decided to just do something completely off script like this. Some bushes could be an idea. They're very waxy, these. It's the Neocolors are a new purchase, a very recent purchase, so I'm still trying to get the grips with them, and I'm really liking them, and I love exploring all different ways you can use them. They seem to be quite versatile, and I have to admit I'm also quite impressed with the Royal Talens sketchbook, taking all of this in. Now maybe some colored pencils, let's see. This is very much a testing as I go along and seeing what's going to happen type of session. The color palette is completely different to what I wanted to do at the beginning, but I quite like just changing things up, and that's the fun of a sketchbook session in my opinion, because you change things as you go and you keep trying things out. I know this is not anything special, this drawing, but it's more of me testing this material, seeing how it works layering. Maybe it's there's some apple trees, some blue apple trees. I think that's it. This is the first spread. I think I was working on it for about 20 minutes. And now let's carry on to the next page. Okay, now on this page I just want to swatch out some color combinations for the next drawing. So I found this nice reference picture on pastels. Okay, so I think I'm going with the green yellow, the orange, and this dark blue. Okay, so I'm just doing a rough sketch here in colored pencil, just so I have an idea of how things are going. Okay, I think now I'm going to start on it. This orange and green I think work really nicely together, so maybe I'm going to try to keep the orange on this side only, and maybe I'll use some of the dark blue to drop it, the texture on top while still wet. And these are the Kuretake watercolors, which I really do enjoy because they're a bit like gouache. You can use them a bit more opaque, and I like that about them. I know some people don't like them quite so much just because they dry with a bit of a shine on, but that's not something that really bothers me yet. My hand seems to be a bit shaky today, and I actually didn't choose the best brush for this, but I committed to it, so there is no coming back now. I'm gonna try to make use of the white paper with this one, so I don't want everything to be covered in paint or crayons. Maybe this can have a bit of a shadow, and so can these. I'm liking the combination between this blue and the green. Doesn't need much. So I think just adding a few trees in the back, just give it a bit more of a nicer composition. There were no trees in the original picture, but I'm feeling like it's missing just something. And I don't think I want to add any greenery to the trees behind. I think I might just leave them plain like this. But what I am tempted is just to give them a bit more dimension. I'm going to go with a bit of the watercolor as well. See how that just makes it pop a bit more. I have to admit, recently I haven't used too much mixed media on this sketchbook, and I'm really enjoying going back to it. It's quite fun. Okay, just putting down the last details. And I think that's it. Okay, and now I kind of have to let this dry until I can do anything else. So I might take out a different sketchbook and do a quick drawing while this is drying. Okay, so I'm taking out my Moleskine sketchbook, and I did this quick drawing the other evening. So let's just finish up this page up. I might just add another small still life study on it. Okay, so I've got my trusty fountain pen here. When it comes to really quick small studies like these, I am not too bothered about getting the perfect proportions or the perfect lines. It's more about capturing the object, and I like to concentrate the most about where to put the shadows and in what direction to render the object in a way where you can recognize it. So I'm just drawing a quick teapot here, and as you can see, my lines are not the cleanest. I also believe that it's good to train yourself to be faster sometimes with your work, and by having a bit of a time limit, you tend to lose the perfectionism that I feel like a lot of us artists have. Okay, well, these are a bit funny looking lemons. That's alright, because I think we can still make them look like lemons. And the last thing, we have this cloth over here. It's a bit frayed at the edges. And I think it's also a good way to train yourself, because there's not a lot of detail here, but I'm pretty sure you can notice this is a frayed piece of cloth. And then it would be the same on this side. Of course, we'll have some shadows going in. Maybe something like this. And there is also a bit of a texture in this cloth, and it gives it a bit of a perspective as well by tracing these lines, because now we have this going in like this. And I always like to put a bit of a border here, just for a bit of fun and to complete my compositions sometimes. Just make this a bit thicker. And I really like working this way, because I feel like I am always a bit of a perfectionist, but when I work this way with the pen, without having the ability to erase any lines, it makes me much more confident in my lines. And I always notice when I'm more confident in my lines, I tend to like my drawings more as well. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to put down the date, which is the 20th. 25. Can't believe we're in 2025. And that's all. And that took us, I think, about 7 minutes.